Here we are, it's July 2012, and in 5 months, what's going to happen? That's right, the big 2012 question for my own guide groups, they all agree that December 21st, just a date on the calendar. And they also say that while many ancient and revered cultures have absolutely positively written about a great shift and about energy cycles, these writings have often been mistranslated, misinterpreted, and sometimes just plain misused for various reasons. Maybe honest mistakes in the translation, maybe perfect translations were altered on purpose as a means of controlling other people, or maybe for as simple a reason as to sell more movie tickets. You know, but no matter, it does not matter, because the bottom line is this: no ancient culture, and not even our contemporary civilization, can possibly know what's going to happen at the end of this year, what's going to happen next year, or what's going to happen 10 years from now. Nothing is ever set in stone. Now, my guides are quite prolific on the subject of evolution. There's no set ending point, no magical "we're there" vibration. And really, when you think about it, why should there be? Why should there be? And something that my guides have asked me to be very, very clear about today is that because we're all intricately connected, as each one of us increases our personal vibrational level, it affects the rest of us in a positive way too. And they say that together, we've already taken the human race to a new level of being. And we're going to take ourselves to the next level and the next level after that one too. So what can we as light workers, what can we do to facilitate our continued evolution? Well, 3 things come to mind. The first is to be present. The second is to live in the moment. And the third is to watch what we think and say. Now, those 3 phrases, nothing new there, right? You guys have heard these things over and over again. They're not new, and sometimes maybe we've heard them so much that we think, are they really powerful expressions, or are they nothing more than overused New Age slogans? And if so, have they been so overused that they're nothing more than cliches? Well, I know 2 things about cliches. First, a cliche is a phrase that was originally used a lot because it was so striking in its meaning. And second, that a cliche is a phrase that ends up being so well used because everyone who hears it immediately understands what it means. You get the meaning of it right away. Now, knowing this, I have to say that I would not mind in the least if these 3 phrases, which actually contain quite a bit of wisdom and some very good advice in just a few little words, if they become part of our everyday lexicon. So cliche or no, being present, living in the moment, and watching what we think and say, these things are really the heart and soul of my talk today. And that's because they're a very, very big part of living in the here and now. And living in the here and now, guys, living in the here and now is crucial to our spiritual growth, both individually and collectively. And I say this because as we incorporate these 3 things into our lives, we can't help but practice awareness. It's impossible to be present, to be in the moment, and to watch what we're thinking and saying without being fully aware of exactly what it is that we're doing. And when we're aware of what we're doing, we make progress. We expedite our spiritual growth, and that's really what it's all about. So, if we adopt these 3 possibly cliche sayings as part of our spiritual philosophy, and we make them part of our daily routines, we'll be living much more in the here and now. We'll quickly spot our windows of opportunity for learning and growth. We'll cross off items on our spiritual to-do list much faster. And will naturally boost the amount of positive energy that we create, while at the same time diminishing the amount of negative energy that we project out into the world on a daily basis. So, being aware, Being aware has great benefits. No one's going to argue that. But there's another reason that I'm on a living in the here and now crusade of sorts. I am actually pretty riled up on this subject, and here's why. I have noticed a kind of soul sickness among some of our fellow lightworkers, a nasty little virus that I have nicknamed the rapture bug. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean by this in just a minute, but let me first say this. Those of us who have it, we need to treat it immediately. And the rest of us, we need to strengthen our spiritual immune systems so that we don't contract this malicious, soul-sucking bug. Because if we catch it and we don't treat it, it's going to keep us from fully taking advantage of these wonderful bodies that we currently inhabit and all of the opportunities for learning and growth that are staring us in the face right now. So here's what's got me going. Here's what's got me all riled up. Conversations, emails, letters, and posts written by folks who say that they are just waiting for the rapture, waiting to transition, or waiting for their vibrational level to speed up so they can leave here and get to 5D Earth. Well, when I hear somebody say, I just want to transition, or horror of horrors, I don't want to do anything anymore, I'm just waiting to transition, I got to tell you, I get tears in my eyes. My heart starts to break. I want to grab them. I want to shake them and shake them and shake them until they remember how important they are to the here and now. Important not only to themselves, but important to all of us too, because we need each other to move forward. We are connected. Now, here's an example of what I'm talking about. I was having tea with a friend of mine. She told me words that I just love to hear. She told me she could not wait to transition to 5D Earth. I replied that, well, maybe we will transition, maybe we won't transition during this incarnation. You know, we don't know. Maybe our work is such that we need to complete our lifetime on 3D Earth. Well, you would have thought that I took a knife and just stabbed it into her and turned it around and around, because she was horrified. She was horrified by what I said. And I don't know why I did this, guys, but I did. I added fuel to the fire, and I said, we don't know who's transitioning. We don't know when these transitions are going to happen, and we need to make the most of our time here and now. I really, really upset my friend with this conversation. She was not happy with me. And she went home and she immediately sent an email detailing everything that I said to her best friend, Fiona. Now, I know Fiona. She's a beautiful, talented human being. She is one of those tireless, bright light types of light workers. But what I said really upset her too. So much so that she sent me an email demanding clarification of everything that I said and letting me know how much she wants to hurry up and transition. Fiona said, "What is so bad? Tell me what is so good. I am here in the boonies, the most dense place ever. That is the source of my frustration while living in this toxic and boring 3D planet and experiencing all the limitations while knowing of all the possibilities beyond the 3D. That is the reason I do not want to be here. The limitation, the veil, the lack of knowledge, and the ignorance of masses. I guess ignorance is bliss, Sherri, because until I was fully aware of the concept of this matrix, I was able to semi-enjoy life, even though I've always felt like a visitor here. I could live a semi-normal life, make money, and collect tons of shoes. Now I have no interest in any of these activities anymore. Nothing makes sense, and I do not know how to go back and get interested again in 3D world at this point. My only motivation lately was a thought and knowing in my heart that there will be ascension, and if that is not going to happen, I do not see a reason for waking up in the morning." Ay, 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 ay. I mean, she was one tired light worker with a serious case of the rapture bug to boot. But she talked about shoes. She mentioned shoes, so I knew that she had a sense of humor. There was still something there. So I asked her, Fiona, do you not realize all the people that you're affecting in a positive manner and all the good that you're doing as 3D Earth continues to evolve?